welcome to the Mental Margarita Show. We have Angie and Tim Ritter with us from the Family Fun Xperience Theatre in Virginia Beach, Virginia. How are you today?
Great. Thanks for
Wonderful.
having us.
We are so excited to have you because there are so many exciting things that happen at your beautiful theater, which is right behind you there. You're on location and you have a lovely setup. So many things that happen in your venue spot, from
Mhm.
dinner theater, mystery theater, live music performances, um, live game shows for the family. There's just so many things that we're going to go into more detail about some of those in just a little bit. But let's go way back to the beginning. Both of you have a background in counseling and education. Angie, you still do that now. And
Yes.
then also through your work there at the theater is also very educational also, and
Yeah.
interactive with people of all ages. So is that how you two met, was in this business, in the
Oh, no.
counseling and
Oh, no.
education?
High school
So
high school sweethearts. So
Yeah, we've been together a long time and, education and other backgrounds, all the way through the years, worked with families and kids in a lot of different capacities, but including education and therapy stuff.
yep.
now your family, your bunch that you have there, you've got your kids, you've adopted exchange students and extended family, and you've added to your menagerie, and this theater is a family affair.
Oh,
Everyone's involved in it, and this has been a theme that's been ongoing for you two throughout your marriage and throughout your life. So tell us a little bit about that. How you came into having an extended family, because that's something that some people are inspired to do, and that you folks have experienced. So how did that come about?
yeah, I mean, people we've worked with in different places, we've always treated people like family, and so we've got a little thing on the wall over here of like birthdays and anniversaries. If you've been in the troupe here or been connected here or even been volunteer here, you're probably on the wall with your birthday and or anniversary over there. People that have worked in the kitchen, everything else. So we treat everybody like family, and that just goes way, way back. But we had years ago, we were in Indiana, and through a youth group, one of our kids was connected with somebody who was looking to rehome an exchange student, and we said, well, our daughter had gone off to college at that point. It's like, we've got an extra girls' bedroom and we're right in the right school district. So that sort of led us into her coordinating exchange students back in Indiana and still
Yeah.
here in Virginia as well.
Yep. So she interviewed us because she wanted to meet us first.
Yeah.
And we just hit it off in just pretty much every area, and still connected to her today, and learned about
Mhm.
her kids and our exchange student from France. Connected into what our son was doing with show choir. So, just again, just I don't know, just blended really well. And
Yeah.
he got to actually just go visit him over the summer. He went to England and got to meet up with him. He's living there right now. And so that's great to be able to reconnect,
Yeah.
and just, with social media, it is great that we can stay connected
Yeah.
even better than just mail,
Yeah.
back in the day.
I'm connecting with kids that are, because we help provide some things for some of the other families that are housing them from Spain and, you know, um, Korea and
Thailand.
Thailand,
Mhm.
all over the place. And then not exactly the same thing, but we had one of our first J1 students. So if you're in Disney World or in a resort area like this, and I think you see all these people from all over the world working there as a
Mhm.
college student for a summer job or for a season. And we had our first J1 student here last year. He was from Turkey, and most of them, he was working a couple jobs like a lot of them do. And they lived and everything. And we're like going out with a couple people after one of the shows to do some planning and say, hey, come down to the restaurant with us. And it's like, he'd been here for months, hadn't been out to eat. They were just eating, ramen or whatever back in the room. And
Oh,
then one of our cast members had some tickets to a ball game, and we were taking a bunch of them out there and say, hey, Jay, come along with us. And on the way back, I was dropping him back off at the place, and he's like, you guys really live up to your name. He said, you live up to your name. And I'm like, my name? And he's like, oh yeah, because Family Fun Experience, because you've treated me like family, and I've had more fun here than anything else we've been doing, and you really made it an experience. So we're looking at now launching a program in April and May here for all the incoming J1 students, to be able to give them a place to connect and to get to know each other and get to know the area, so they're not just, work and home and riding a bike back and forth. And that's their whole experience of the United States. They get to experience a little bit of really belonging somewhere here.
Right. And that's important. Culture is one thing, and it can be so foreign and a little scary sometimes, especially if you're not 100% on board with speaking English. And, we want them to feel welcome and to be able to participate in so many different things because there's so many things to do. Especially,
Mhm.
you folks are right there down by the water. We'll make sure that the audience knows how to find you and how to get there too. So thank you for that commitment to that and enriching. We enrich people's lives and they enrich ours by coming in and sharing
Mhm.
what they have to offer too. So how fun is that?
Families are a core to our community. In fact, to society and to every society. And raising a family and staying connected to one another has become more and more challenging each year. But families aren't just families by chance or convenience. Families have a purpose, a great purpose. But the day-to-day, getting through all the busyness of life, it's all important, and it honestly gets hard for most families to take the time to do the important things that can help them grow stronger together. That's the story of our family over the years, and I'm sure in some ways it's the story of your family and many others that you know. But despite our best intentions, families are still struggling more than ever. And we've discovered a great place to begin changing this for families is with a memorable shared experience. A simple bit of time together, not just on the road we were going. Our family had a lot of hours together like this. We're talking about some time together in one unforgettable setting where each family can rediscover through some fun, some laughter, and some heartfelt moments that they really can be stronger together. It's not the destination, but it can begin families on a very real and meaningful journey to build their life together and to find their purpose. We know we have your attention right now, but to keep your family's attention together, we've found over the years that a healthy dose of fun sprinkled throughout these times builds that unforgettable connection that is especially vital when times get tough, when someone has a tough day, or when something bad inevitably happens. Families can lean on faith, on support systems around them, on extended family and neighbors, but when the chips are down, they really need one another.
All year round, you have things going on, and you just do so many things. Winning awards, 2024 Best of Business, being featured in the Coastal magazine. The list goes on and on. I mean, just helping community neighbors, helping other neighbors, and just so many things that you contribute. You are a nonprofit organization, 501c3. So we want people to know that they can give from wherever they are and help support, you supporting the arts, employing people, giving people a valuable experience on stage, things that build self-confidence and also while you're entertaining people at the same time.
Yeah,
So,
and that captures
there's
a lot of what we do. I mean, and why it's a nonprofit. A lot of theaters are nonprofit, but that's not as typical necessarily in a resort area for a more an entertainment kind of venue. But our mission is really strengthening, encouraging families through the type of interactive shows that we create, and that's our main mission. But in the arts, we are also developing talent in this area. There's a lot of talent, but it's not Hollywood, it's not Nashville, it's not, New York, something like that. But there's a lot of talent around here, and helping develop young talent, helping give an opportunity for some professional acting in a very different vein, because we've had a lot of different people come through from an arts point of view that are acting, and we challenge them to relate to an audience in a way that they don't normally relate to in any other kind of acting. So we've really been developing something with that, but then also going out into the community, because the whole reason we do what we do is to really impact families. And there's a lot of families in this community, and we keep the prices very low, so it's affordable, just to keep the lights on and everything else that's going on here, and be able to do those first two things, but also be able to bring in families that are either disadvantaged or have special needs, things like that, that we can create special things for and give them an opportunity.
Help the Family Fun Xperience Theatre make an impact on more and more families of every shape and size. A portion of your donation will be used to allow families in need or with special challenges to attend the show together, and everything will be used to create the greatest experience for every family attending the show and beyond. Family Fun Xperience is also raising money to install a lift to make the theater space more accessible for everyone. Scan the QR code to donate now, or for more information, visit ffxshow.org.
And when I was reading about your mission, you know, it's for families, like you said, to be strengthened and encouraged through a shared experience with one another. And, you
Mhm.
know, we find that through social media and everyone being so attached to their devices that we end up less social. So, you know, from your background in counseling and interacting with people and families at all different kinds of levels, you know, where does this, how do we fix this disconnect? You know, coming to your theater and participating in these activities really help solve that. But what's some advice you can give to families? We want them to take that next step and come out and do this. So from a, you know, you both have clinical background, so let's you know, jump into that for a second, because it's really important for people to make a change, or
Yeah.
to be, you know, positive interaction with one another.
And I know we've seen, you know, families come in and they'll come in with their devices. Of course, the teenagers will have theirs. Like sometimes the kids come in with their iPad, but
And the
typi-
2-year-olds and everybody.
yeah, from the toddlers on up. And what we find is that they disappear. They're like, because we have media, it's on the screen. So they're interacting with each other, interacting with from the stage this way, with each other this way, on their couch, and with each other across the, you know, across families. So the devices get put away. Unless they're taking a picture, we do encourage that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's great to see that the devices really just melt away when they're here.
Yeah. And some of that's by design. We know that having the media elements and the multimedia makes it a smoother transition. They don't notice that they're putting that away, but then all of a sudden it's like, oh, the device has been sitting there, but they were glued to it when they walked in. And
Right.
that isn't intentional to give them a comfort zone to do that. But at a lower level, and true with kids, you know, some of the stuff we see happening with kids and in culture over the last number of years, where they are very connected on these devices, it's sort of a pacifier of sorts. It's not always the best thing. It's just easy and it's accepted and whatever, but what they're craving is connection. And so the device is going not just because of what we do there, because they are striving for that connection with each other. And sometimes we forget how to do that. And as
Mhm.
kids or even as adults to one another, we forget how to relate to each other sometimes. And you need that environment where there's a permission and a little different thing. And all of a sudden you find a way to reconnect on that. And so like what you see, not just the screens, but you see behind us here, a lot of the seating up front here is couches, and we have larger audiences. We have some chairs and things too. And that was just an interesting idea we had at the beginning, but it really became a focal point because as a theater, most things you would strive for what happens on stage. And there's, you know, big fun stuff to see on stage. And it's not just about pulling audience members on stage. What the focus is for us and for any of our actors, or whether it's a whole audience game show, anything we're doing, is that what happens in these couches, or what happens between whoever you're there with and you call family. If it's a ladies' night out, that's your family then. If it's a team building event for a work group, that's their family. Whatever happens between them is more important to us than what they see. Because one of the things we say at the beginning of a lot of shows is it's, you know, we're not a sit and watch kind of theater. We want to get you up and involved and doing that. And you may sit there most of the time. But most of the time, by the time they came in at the end of the show, people are up and doing some things that are maybe weren't in their comfort zone when they started. And it's not unusual to hear at the end. It's like we had a lady just the other night. She's like, back and she's like, I had no idea what my husband had signed us up for, what we're doing. And usually it's the other way around, but this time it was the wife saying this, and, you know, had no idea what it was, but I had the best time. We just really connected and had a great time here. And so we launched right at the beginning of COVID. We're trying to refigure all this interactive stuff out. It's just coming up on 5 years here now. And that first year rolled around to Valentine's Day and said, let's do something for couples. Let's have, you know, an evening thing. We'll make this couple show for Valentine's. And had a lot of fun with them. We thought, well, that's great. We'll do that again next year on Valentine's. And by that next fall, we thought, what are we waiting for Valentine's for? Let's do this every month. And in the summer, we actually do it about once a week, so that couples are down here just for a few days or a week. They have a chance too, because, you know, as a married couple, or if they're just thinking about it or whatever, that is the core of what a family is too, that relationship between them. So it lets us build into that relationship in a little different way. Still with
And I
clean.
noticed that a lot of times your tickets are sold out. So we want, you know, folks, look ahead of time, get your ticket ahead of time, because chances are there might not be one if you wait to the last minute, because this seems to be a really popular and well attended
And
event for you.
they love the couch seating. It's always, are we going to be able to get a couch? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the big question.
So we try to always find a way to squeeze people in, but if you want good seating and the couch seating and stuff like that, yeah, definitely book early.
Live, interactive, family-friendly shows. Welcome to Family Fun Xperience Theatre. What can you expect? Well, game shows, family comedy, swashbuckling farces, holiday extravaganzas, birthday parties plus superheroes, sci-fi and musical special. Expect something new and fun every week year-round. Relaxing, comfortable couch seating with views overlooking the Virginia Beach oceanfront with plenty of fun snacks and drinks to enjoy. FFX's unique brand of family-friendly fun has the whole audience playing along, from kids and teens to grandma and gramps. No kids? No problem. Whatever your age, our middle name is FUN. So what are you waiting for? Head over to ffxshow.org and get your tickets right now.
Now, do you typically have a house cast that regular players that participate on the regular shows, or do you hold auditions throughout the year? How does that work?
A little bit of both, and that's been an evolution too, because we have an in-house troupe that we developed after the first year, and sort of rethinking some of the shows, because we knew that we're going to be doing these shows year round. We literally don't have a week year round that we don't do some shows. It's at least 2 or 3 things every week, sometimes 7 or 8, 10 things in a week. And so having a cast in a typical theater would be, you get auditioned, you have 5 or 6 whatever weeks of rehearsal, then you put on a weekend or 2 of shows, and then you're done, you go on to do something else. And we wanted to both have some consistency, and we know we're doing some different things, but also be able to give them some freedom to go off and shoot a commercial or be in a movie or be in another performance. So we have an in-house troupe that we're always adding to year round. We have rolling auditions year round. We just added a couple new troupe members from some people that had come in just for a Christmas show to be part of it that are now joining into the troupe. But then, some of those will cycle out, which we have to be able to do. So in a pirate show in the summer, we have a guy that sort of really typifies your typical pirate captain. So most typically he's the captain, but you might show up and it's somebody else, and they have to be able to be flexible and trade into different roles. So like we had a family come back this summer, and it was, I think, their 3rd year seeing the pirate show, and the lady who stepped up and was the pirate captain that night, they were talking to her after the show, and they're like, oh, it's so good because last year you were swabbing the decks, and this year that you're the captain, you got promoted. And she felt really good. And she had only 2 weeks that she got to be the captain that summer, but she did a fantastic job at it. So it really lets them play with things and enjoy being part of the role. A lot like the play side of improv that happens in almost all of our shows, but it lets them really relate to the audience in a different way too,
and helps them develop different characters and and evolve as performers, which is, it's so fun because your place offers that organic things that happen organically, and for everyone to really grow. And that's how we should be as people anyway, and encourage that. So your theater is a very nurturing environment, which just exudes the whole family experience.
Definitely a rich history here. Building goes back about 80 years. It was connected to another local legend that was right across the street called Peppermint Beach Club, and they were sort of sister establishments. Frank Sinatra, this was his local hangout in the 50s and 60s, always traveling between New York and Miami. But the Rat Pack was here, Jane Mansfield, the Platters, the Rondells got their start here, one of the great beach bands. So there's a lot of rich history here. And we can show you some of that when you come to visit as well.
Now you two have some fun talents that you have as well. Angie, you're like a world-class eye twirler. That's something we want to make sure people ask to witness when they come in to visit.
That's my daughter's doing. Okay. I won't do it for you now. You'll have to come see.
But she does great.
Tim, tell us about this teaching 250 people to juggle marshmallows. How did that come about?
That was back in grad school. They were doing just a talent show kind of thing, and I had a Spanish teacher back in high school, had started a juggling club and had sort of this little way of teaching people to juggle. And I thought, well, that'd be a fun thing to do. But like and we were together at the time. And so it's like, how are we going to put things in this many people's hands? And, college student, and we didn't have a big budget to buy that many tennis balls or anything like that. And then you're chasing them all over the room. So we came up with the idea of just using marshmallows. So everybody got a few marshmallows and, went through the little act and started to taught a little juggling lesson. And then what I wasn't expecting, because it was not planned or anything else, it just spontaneously erupted, is at the end of the little thing, everybody got a little hang of it and whatever, to at least maybe do a couple of them. Some people were getting the hang of 3. All of a sudden, 250 people with 3 or so marshmallows each all came flying straight at me. All the marshmallows. So it looked like a blizzard of marshmallows. That was a once in a lifetime experience. At least
That sounds like a Guinness World Book of Records moment, actually.
It might have been. We didn't look into that at the time, but.
And actually this year we're hoping to bring back our original Family Fun Experience show, because that was the original show we created this whole thing for. And we tried to launch it that first year in 2020 with COVID, and getting it on its feet was hard enough. And then the weekend we went to launch it was when they started doing the social gatherings reduced and all that kind of stuff. And it
Right.
sort of killed it for then, but we'd reinvented these other things. And so those things have taken off, and we've never been able to get back to that original show being on stage. So we're trying to rethink that and bring that on stage this year as well.
And how amazing that you were able to withstand the storm through all that. Myself as a performer, the world kind of came to a halt. No shows, we just like, what do you do? But the beautiful thing about the human spirit is that I watched so many people adapt and reinvent themselves, and people, there was more small businesses started in 2021 than ever on record.
Mhm.
So, just people, we're resilient. So, it shows the human spirit and the will to survive and do what we have to do to push forward. So,
Yeah.
it's so wonderful that you folks are there and weathered that storm and offer and provide all this wonderful entertainment for the whole family. So we can't wait to come and visit and see some of your shows. I'm looking forward to that. How do you prefer people contact you? Now we've got the website up. People are also seeing pictures of your spot.
Yeah, so the website is where most people get their tickets. I mean, we do have a box office line, the 757-797-4020. People will call if they need some help with tickets and things like that, or questions, or especially if they're trying to do a group or plan a special event as part of a show or separately. That sometimes takes a little more conversation, because no 2 events are quite the same. Our goal is to make it fun and memorable, whether you're here for a show and it's just coming to a show, or whether you're here for a show as part of a celebration, or whether you're trying to do something big. That's our same goal.
That's wonderful. And people can buy tickets online. They can, like I said, book ahead, folks, because they get sold out pretty quick. So, we're so excited for people to come and meet you, come and see you, and have their own family fun experience. So thank you so much for being on the show. We loved having you and introducing everyone to all of your wonderful performances that you have down there. And we want families to remember what it's like to enjoy and have fun together. So thank you so much for having this for locals and visitors alike.
Thanks for having us on. We look forward to seeing you all out here. We'll schedule that trip to Virginia Beach.
Whether you live in Virginia Beach or make it your travel destination, plan for a night at the Family Fun Xperience Theatre. With murder mystery shows, open mic and karaoke fun for the whole family, game show nights and trivia events, and a variety of performances you won't want to miss. Don't forget that a theater experience makes a great gift any time of the year. For current show schedules, updates, and ideas for planning your next party or event, visit ffxshow.org. Find your fun at the Family Fun Xperience Theatre.
signature program of Family Fun Experience is a live, interactive, and participatory theatrical story providing more than just fun. We are building a shared experience that is memorable for the whole family, and it is something that doesn't exist anywhere else. Anywhere. We are creating it right here in Virginia Beach.
If you're looking for a one-stop shop for all your skateboarding needs, look no further than Karma Longboards and Skate Shop. We carry a wide range of skateboards, longboards, cruisers, and accessories from top brands, as well as skateboarding apparel. Don't leave without seeing our talented henna tattoo artist ready to add that special design to mark your visit to the beach. We offer good vibes, smiling faces, and great prices. Karma is located at 1704A Atlantic Avenue in Virginia Beach, Virginia. For more information, visit karmaskateshop.com or call 757-470-9396. That's 757-470-9396.
You're starstruck, here's a sprinkle of the stardust. Hold your champagne glass and your cigars up. See the guys with mob ties drive the cars up. Bright lights, most nights they buy the bars up. Candy coated Chevy cars on the highway. It's Frankie baby, it's on and this is my way. Dean Martin at the Sands this Friday. With Sammy Davis, here's a little hint where I stay. The city shines like Liberace's mansion, and you know Elvis had the whole city dancing. Showgirl silhouette steady prancing. Shout out to June, just the Copa Girls anthem. Legal gambling, yeah, that would tempt me. It's Sin City, holy water couldn't cleanse me. And Wayne Newton had the crowd in a frenzy. Live at the Stardust, the seats never empty. Now if you having a good time in Las Vegas, at the count of 3,